Hi everyone, Lee Miller here, co-manager at Falkirk Football Club. So here's my best 11 that I've played with over my 3 spells at the club. So starting at number 1 in goals, played with a few good goalies over the years, but my number 1 would be Alan Ferguson. My second season as a pro, he was a cracker. He'd actually the longest throw I've ever seen. And Fergie's a local lad to myself. He's from Wishaw. Had a great career. He could actually throw the ball longer than he could kick it. But in terms of shot stopping, it was incredible. It was great for us that season. We won the league. So Fergie would be my goalkeeper. Excuse my rating. So Alan Ferguson goals. You had the likes of played Dan Hill, who's also a cracking keeper. He's the best half volley I've ever seen. He was a young goalie coming up at that time. Obviously played with Danny Rogers as well and young Robbie Much. So no, Alan Ferguson I think pips it. His experience the year we won the league as well was vital. Right back, so the right back I'm going with was from my second season again, my younger years, and it's Andy Laurie, super glue. I actually don't know why he was called glue, but cracking guy on and off the pitch, quiet, just got on with his job. He knew what you were getting. He was getting up and down the pitch, had good delivery. In the season we won the league, he actually scored a few cracking goals. He would get you a goal as well, so you could rely on him. He was always steady away, right back, so he would be my experience again. So I'll just say Laurie. Gets up and down, he's a good outlet, good crosses into the box for my strikers getting on the end of them. Left back, we'll switch over to left back, who for me it was a difficult decision, the left back. It was between two, and it was between Luke Leahy and Jamie McQuilkin, Jazza, and I've went for Jamie McQuilkin. Cracking guy on off the pitch again, as is Luke Leahy. It was a tough decision, this one, really tough decision. But Jamie McQuilkin, his energy levels getting up and down, his delivery into the box, feeds a great ball into the striker as well, which I benefited from very often back in the day. Great guy as well. Still keep in contact with him as well. So no, I think he's my left back. I think all the Falkirk fans will agree with me that he was tremendous for the club. So it's just a bit of the phone now. So Jazza is my left back. So moving on from Jazza, my left back with energy levels getting up and down. So my both full backs will be supporting the attack. But energy levels to get back as well. Moving on to centre backs, I could have went with my co-manager David McCracken, but I've chosen to go with 2 defenders that I played against when I was younger, and then they came to the club and I thought, excellent, they came to the club, I don't need to play against them anymore. And my right centre back is Yogi Hughes, who for me it was a tough opponent to play against, but just a cracking individual. For me as a young boy coming through, watching him the way he went about his business in training and in games, and you were scared of Yogi being in your team as well. He used to go out before games and he used to sniff the smelling salts and actually nearly knock himself out by doing it. And I thought, that's experience pros we've got in our changing room. And to win that league that season, obviously went on to become player manager that season as well. Him and Coyley, it was great for me as a young boy coming through the youths and seeing that as dedicated as he was, and it was a massive part in what we done that season and winning the league. Another one I played against the season before we won that league with Falkirk was Kevin James, who big high-tiller, he would win everything, you couldn't beat him in there. And he was one of those ones where if you get the ball in as a striker, he would get that gangly leg round and you wouldn't be able to hold the ball up. So, and the amount of times he got goals from set plays as well, you could put him up front from set plays at corners and stuff, and he was amazing in there. Obviously having that height advantage over everybody was a massive key in that. So Kev James would be my other centre half. So getting into centre midfield. So I've played a lot of good players in there, like Sir Tom Tyle, we've got Zippy, John Henry could play in there, Scotty McKenzie could play in there. Another one, and I didn't play that often with, but Gary Mcstay. Gaz Mcstay, I was his boot boy when I was a young boy at Falkirk. He was a cracking player, got on the ball, made things happen. But there's only one answer for me in there, and it's Mark Kerr. Kerzo was incredible for me coming through as a youngster. Would look after all the young boys coming through, and if he stepped up to play with the first team or even train with the first team, he was like a big brother to me coming through. I've still got a great relationship with him now, but Kerzo could do everything. His fitness levels were incredible. His 2 feet ping direction, he would control games. So for me, it's a no-brainer there. A lot of good players I've played with, but Kerzo stands out for me, and he's been a Falkirk legend over the years. For the amount of years he's played with the club as well. Incredible player, incredible person as well. So moving on to the kind of attacking one in here. So between two for me in here, between Will Volks and Blair Olsen. Two great energy levels, getting up and down the park, scoring goals. I'm going to go with Will. So Will, for me, I didn't realise how good a player Will was. He would get you goals, he had a long throw, he would get on the ball, his energy levels to get up and down. I think the two of them complement each other really well. The amount of goals he scored, he could hit a cracking free kick, cracking shot for long distance, but he would actually arrive in the box as well and score you a goal. Constant communicator as well, and I think that's vital for the game of football, is actually communicating and speaking to everybody all over the pitch. And Will's went on to have a great career, and he's doing great for himself just now, which is brilliant to see. A great guy on and off the pitch as well. So we'll move to the right hand side. So I've kind of went with one and only legend, Kevin McAllister, Crunchy. I was my first season in the first team. I was lucky enough to play with Crunchy. Quiet. He would moan the face off you, but on and off the pitch he was quite a quiet. But his skills and his movement, his drop of his shoulder, you could give him the ball. He's a ball carrier. Give him the ball if in trouble, and he would go and get you out of that trouble. He would score you a goal or two, and I'm sure the fans will remember lots of mazy runs that he used to make. But he actually played up front with me quite a lot in my first season as a pro at Falkirk, and he helped me through a lot of difficult times. His link up was great, his awareness, his two-footedness, and just he's a Falkirk legend. He speaks for himself. I couldn't not put him in the team. Just a cracking individual player who would work his tail off. He wasn't one of those luxury players. He would just stand out in the wing. He would really work hard for you. So going to the left hand side, between two players with this one, between Hadji, Craig McPherson, who had a cracking left foot, composing the ball, really good, would find ways out of tricky situations, tight situations, or Craig Sibbald, two cracking players. But I'm going to go with Craig Sibbald, Sibs, who's played an unbelievable amount of games for Falkirk, and I think in my opinion, he's held as a legend here. He's done a lot of good things for the club. He's been on strength to strength. I think he could have played higher again, he could have kicked on again. He knows that himself, but for the Falkirk fans, he's done tremendous things, and he gets in wee pockets, and I think they would kind of mix it up in there as well, and he gets you goals as well. But the same as Kevin McAllister, ball carrier, you give him the ball in tight areas and he would get you out of trouble. And just a cracking boy as well. But it was a really close one. These two are probably the closest for me. But Haji had a great left foot, a great boy as well. He helped me a lot in my kind of younger years at Falkirk. So no, it was a tight one. It was a tough one, but I went with Craig Sibbald. Also would get you some goals going forward as well. Strikers. So the striker situation, I think one would kind of drop off and one would go in behind the pace. So I've went with Owen Coyle. So Coyle was incredible for me. It was my second season when we won the first division. He scored an incredible amount of goals, and in training as well. His enthusiasm and having him about the place as a young boy, and learning off of him, finishing in training, both feet. He would chip the goal every single day in training and love it. And like Alan Ferguson and Dan Hill used to hate it. He used to hate it every day in training. He would always eventually chip the goal, and there's nothing he could have done about it. But even in games, I think he scored 20 that season. I wasn't far behind him, but I learned so much from him, the way he holds the ball up, the way he was built like that. He was built like that, but he actually made a nuisance himself. He was a constant pest to the centre halves, and it just took away from the other centre half that was dealing with, and we would take a lot on board. And the way he finishes was incredible. And I thought about maybe putting John Baird in, or Decky McManus, who score goals obviously, as well as Coyle. He scored a lot of goals for the club and were incredible for the club. But I went with a combination of Coyle and Colin Samuel. The Sammy boy, incredible, and it always comes up on my Facebook memories. The Hearts game that he played. That's how good he could be. On his day, Sammy was unplayable. You couldn't get near him. His pace in behind, his touch, his finishing. He was a constant pest as well. But his strength, he would battle away for you. And if you could get in his head in terms of working hard off the ball as well as on the ball, I think that's a front two to be reckoned with. I really do. Subs in terms of impact, I think I would have to have Luke Leahy in there. Luke Leahy as a sub. He'd be there for his banter, if anything else. To be honest, his banter was great. We had some great times here when Luke was here. I think that would complement the way they played. It was a close one between Jazza and Luke, because Sibs and Luke had a really good relationship on the park, linking up together. I think I would have to put Beardy in there for his goals. Beardy was incredible, and we had a great relationship on and off the pitch, to be honest. His link up was great, and he again, similar to these two, a constant pest. Beardy was a pest, and he would get you goals from nothing. He would work his tail off again. His work rate was incredible, and for all, it wasn't that big in terms of height wise. He would win his fair share in the air, but he would make it hard for the centre halves to deal with. And I've forgot to actually mention him in there, but Miles Hippolyte, Zeno, I would put for impact coming off the bench as well. Another one on his game, incredible player, incredible talent, great left foot, had a great shot on him, crossed a good ball, and his close control and skills were really, really good. So I think if we're going with 3 subs, I think that's the 3 subs that would make a positive impact in that. And that is my team, my Falkirk 11 that I've played with over the years. I've been lucky enough to play with all these players and learn so much off them. So I'm quite happy with that.